to be invited to many colleges. An important value of network marketing, it's real world business education. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be invited to many colleges and universities and speak to entrepreneurs. The problem with them is they're not really prepared for the real world. Most of them will still leave school and hope to find a job. The beauty of network marketing, moving from the E and the S side to the right side of the quadrant, first of all, requires a change in mindset. That mindset is exactly opposite of E's and S's. And that's the tough part. Once you see, oh my God, I don't need a steady paycheck, I don't need to work hard for myself, then your mind starts to shift. Then it requires learning new skills. It's not necessarily easy. Some people it's easier than others, but you have to learn to have money and people work for you rather than you work for money and other people. And that's a very different mindset. It means you have to become a leader. It's also called business education. A network marketing business is a great way to get real world business education. I would listen to the person who shared this audio with you and then go with this person to a meeting. You have to ask, are these people really concerned about me and my welfare? See, corporate America, or most big corporations, are not interested in you. They're interested in making money for their shareholders, not employees.
Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another beautiful, blessed, and grateful day. Beginning of the week, fired up. It is Tuesday, ready to go ahead and take massive action and dominate the day. So today, we are going to be talking about how to go ahead and build your business part-time, right? Most of us, we come into entrepreneurship working a full-time job, right? We might work 9 to 5. We might have a night shift. Whatever it is, the biggest question that I get all of the time is, D, can I get some tips on how I can better manage my time? I'm working a job, I'm working 2 jobs. How can I go ahead and balance my business in between? So today, that is going to be our topic. But before we go ahead and dive in, what is everybody grateful for coming in for today? Grateful for God, grateful to be alive, grateful to be healthy, grateful for the momentum, grateful for the dream team, grateful for the lessons, grateful for all that is coming on the way inside of our lives. So let's go ahead and dive into it for today. Here we go. All right, so we are going to be talking about building your business part-time. One of the first things I want to go ahead and dive in and talk about is going to be the biggest misconstrued problems that most see coming in, right? Because they're like, D, well, I'm working 7 to 7, I'm working 60 hours a week. I don't know if I have the time. Well, here's the truth, okay? Anybody walking, there's nobody walking that has more than 24 hours than you and I, right? We all have the same amount of time. The truth is how we end up utilizing our time. And here's what I started to realize coming in to entrepreneurship, because truth be told, I was actually working 7 days a week. I was actually working at my parents' restaurant before I was actually living inside of my car. And I was literally doing from 7 in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, sometimes closing at 8. And I had to figure out, why are other people successful and I'm still sitting in the same spot? And it came down to what I was doing with my time, right? So some might work the 9 to 5. The biggest thing I learned is, what are we doing from 5 to 9, right? Even those 4 hours working on yourself, here's the truth. Being able to work on our dreams part-time, eventually, right, over the span, that can actually end up overriding what we make full-time. So the truth is, with entrepreneurship, with MLM, with mentors leading mentors, with trading, with e-commerce, with dropshipping, with all of these different skill sets, you can literally make enough part-time to eventually supersede what it is that you make full-time. How do I know? Because I've seen it time and time again from all different industries and all different walks of life. So I know that it can be done. So here's the next point, talking about with part-time, okay? The biggest misconception. Well, I used to say this: if I don't go all in, then I'm not going to go ahead and do it at all. I'm just going to go ahead and put it off and not even do it. Well, let's go ahead and think about a different scenario. Let's go ahead and put the gym into perspective, okay? Would you all agree, yes or yes, that being able to go to the gym part-time is better than no time? How many of you would agree? Absolutely, right? There's some days when I go to the gym where I don't always have, that hour workout. Maybe some days I might go for 20, 30 minutes, but that 20, 30 minutes is very intense and it's very intentional, right? I might literally do 200 reps nonstop and go ahead and do what I have to do and get out. But that day, that part-time is better than no time. This is what I know. Okay. So if you're the type of person who thinks, oh, well, I have to go all in, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it happen even a couple hours a day, I promise you those couple hours, they add up and they compound over time. Okay. So this is big, right? Nikki said even 10, for sure. It's true. So here's the reality. Okay. This is the problems. Well, here's the reality. Okay. This goes not honestly, not just with business. This is truthfully with life success in general. If you can't build it part-time, you likely won't build it full-time. If you cannot take the time to go ahead and spend an hour, 2 hours a day on the charts with mentors, asking questions, plugging in, I can almost guarantee you there's no way that you're ever going to be able to make the income to be able to actually do this full-time. That's what I know. So I had to get really good at even utilizing the time that I did have. Even though I might have a couple hours before I went to sleep and I had a time that I was going to bed, I had to be intentional with those 4 hours so I could go ahead and maximize them. Because I eventually knew if I could build it part-time, soon enough I'd be able to do this full-time, but it just needed a little bit extra, more of a time spent, okay? Number two, for the reality, it's not a lack of time, it's a lack of time management. Just like we talked about, most come in working a full-time job, but what separates those who become successful and those who end up wondering why it didn't really work out for them, it came from really time blocking, figuring out what are we doing before work, what are we doing after work, and how are we going to really make the most use of this time. So for the morning, before work, I had to really develop my morning routine. I wanted to meditate. I wanted to journal in the morning. I wanted to go ahead and work out. I wanted to get certain things done before I got into the day. And when it came out of work, I had certain things that I also wanted to go and implement. So I knew that I wasn't just spending half of my day building somebody else's dreams, but I was putting in a couple hours into mine. So here's one of the biggest bullet points for the reality. You ready? We don't need just daily aspirations and daily affirmations, right? We also need daily routines, because I've been the type of person to wonder why I wasn't really seeing what I envisioned manifest. Well, here's the truth, okay? We can write down all of the affirmations. We can write down, I'm so happy and grateful now, that we can write down these goals, but without the daily routines, without the daily disciplines, I can guarantee there's no way they're going to be able to manifest, because I've been there. I was wondering for months at a time, why am I not really seeing what I write down? The routines needed to match up, right? So this is why you see so many starting to really see quantum leaps, because they've been consistent with their morning routine, right? This is big. So you guys are all doing phenomenal with it as well, and I'm sure you can see the difference, okay? And I love it. The way we show up, the way we go out into the world, the confidence that we carry, the no need for self-addiction anymore. All of these things start to compound when we start to develop the daily routines and tie that in with the affirmations and the aspirations. So this is big. The last part of the reality is to be ruthless with your time management. Okay. Over the summer, you guys probably experienced it. There were certain times where people might have wanted you to go out to the bar, to go out to the beach, to go do certain things. I'm not saying don't go have fun, but for some of us, you start to realize when you take 2 days off, it really starts to take an effect, because you can be going hard for 5-6 days, but the second that we take 2 days off, it's almost like going back to break even. So I had to get really strict with the people I was hanging out with, the places that I was going, who I was listening to, because I understood that if I consistently hung out with those people too long, or if I consistently was around that type of energy, it was going to rub off on me. And I experienced this so many times, right? How many of you know people who are like energy vampires, right? They drain your energy. This is because we're not ruthless with our time management. Okay, so this was one of the biggest things I learned over the years, is to not major in minor things, right? Majoring in the Netflix, majoring in the going out, majoring in the summer parties, right? Now that we're finally ending up summer, coming into the school time, now is the time to really make sure that we're being very intentional with how we use our time, even if you are part-time. Okay, so how to improve our time management, right? What's the tactical step for today? How do we actually go ahead and take action and make use of this training? Well, here's a couple different things. Establishing daily routines, daily rituals. This creates daily habits, right? So some of us, what day are we on with our routines so far, right? How many days has everybody been consistent? 7, 10, 15. I'm coming up right on to 20, and it feels absolutely incredible, right? It really does. The routine might bend. You may feel the challenge. However, don't give up. 23. Let's go. I love it. You guys are doing absolutely great. It's so exciting to see. You guys are doing awesome. But I know you can feel the difference because now you've started to develop new pathways inside of your brain. You probably feel weird not doing your routine. You probably feel off when you're not actually writing your gratitude, when you're not journaling your day now, because we've started to change our daily habits. And this is big because now we've not only changed our habits, we've rewired the way that we think. And if we go back to understanding the acronym TIER, this is where everything happens. TIER: thoughts, emotions, actions, results. So now that we've changed our thoughts, we've started to change our emotions, which leads to different actions. And now we're starting to see the results flow in abundantly. So this is big. Okay. So the second part, to use your time wisely, even your time during lunch, traveling to and from work. So many little things. I had to realize I was even having gaps in how I was using my time. So here's a perfect example, right? Going to work. Most of us were going to work, whether we're going to the gym, whatever it may be. What if we could turn that time into a mobile classroom? Instead of listening to music, what if we put on some Jim Rohn? What if we put on some Bob? What if we put on some Tony Robbins? What if we had a go live going while we were on the road going to and from work? Okay? Even little things like this. I was just talking about it yesterday, right? I'm about to make a 2-hour drive to Miami here in a couple of days, right? Shane, Selena, they have a huge event going down over there. But imagine this. Imagine in a 2.5-2-hour ride, just listening to an audio. Believe it or not, you could literally finish almost an entire book in a matter of a 2-hour ride. How much smarter would you be if I literally took a book of your preference and you knew it? You had that book in a matter of 2 hours. Some of us are slow readers, so this is why you can really start to leverage audios. Okay, you can be learning while we're, believe it or not, I don't listen to music at the gym. I'm still listening to audios. When I get in the shower, I'm not just listening to my thoughts, I'm listening to audios. So all of these different times that I realized I had gaps, now I can make this time productive. So I'm growing while most people are staying the same. So you guys have probably seen it as well, right? All of the time that we think we didn't have, now we can be more utilized towards really maximizing it, okay? Minimizing wasted time on entertainment, TV, video games, right? This is obviously obvious, but these are keys to really understand. So building part-time. Last two things I want to go ahead and talk about. Building part-time, and the last part is going to be daily tracking, okay? So I've got 4 bullet points for you right here for building part-time. Number 1, it's not the quantity of time, but it is the quality of time that counts. And this is big. Because you know what I've seen? I've seen people tell me, well, D, I've been grinding for 8-10 hours. I've been going really hard. Well, if we were to look at a T-chart, this is why the T-chart is so important, because now we get to document and track what it is that we're doing, right? We have an active side and we have a productive, right? So when you really split this into two, getting on Go Lives, getting on these Zooms, these trainings, these are all great, but they're not income producing activities directly, right? But when we're actually looking at the IPAs, the income producing activities, are we getting on Go Lives? Are we actually putting out content? Are we doing events? Are we scheduling 3-ways? All of these different things. Now we start to see what are we doing that's productive versus active. And when you go back and you look at that through our Sunday evaluations, now you can truly see where the gaps are and how we can go ahead and just add a focus, add a skill set, add a resource into wherever hole that we are lacking in. Okay. So number 2, change your focus from time to what is actually producing. And this is exactly what I was talking about when we're looking at the T-chart. If you were to break down your day right now between what you're doing for work, what we're doing for the business, how many things outside of work into the business are actually really income producing activities? Okay, so when you break this down, now you can start to see where it is you're lacking. Number 3, this is being tactical to implement the holes. Okay, so you can see where you're lacking now. What's the question? How do we go ahead and fill the hole? What are the top 3 to 5 things you would like to accomplish on a daily basis, right? So I'll give you guys an idea for me. trading, right? I want to be able to go ahead and trade in the morning so I can get my bag and be out for the day. So for us, we have this every morning, right? Even today, the bag's already made. We've already caught our trade. We've already caught our pips. I am good on trading for the day. Matter of fact, I'm almost good for the week over these past 2 days. But this is the beauty of it, okay? When you can start to schedule your time, when you can start to get truly organized, now you can really maximize your day. So I've got my trading out of the way, right? I want to make sure I'm spending time to go ahead and brand myself. I want to spend time to go ahead and create new relationships. I want to spend time going ahead and checking up on my leaders. So this is big, right? What are your main priorities for your day that you guys are going to be actually implementing coming into it? Okay, 3 to 5, so you can really start to figure out what you're missing to grow for this week. And last but not least, for building part-time, do at least, right? Brandon Boyd talks about this all the time. At least, right? You're going to hear this from a lot of different mentors. At least 15 minutes of personal development a day. And I just gave you so many different opportunities that we can implement it, right? Whether that be the shower, at the gym, on the way to work, on the way home from work, right? Even going to sleep. All of these different ways that we can start to tune our mind, because here's what I know. At the beginning, especially being part-time, the biggest shift that most of us need coming in is to be able to change our mindset, right? Instead of going from a mindset to a mind flex. Because you see, if you look at the word mindset, what is it? It means our mind is set. It's very fixed, right? We're not open to new information. We're not very open to change. We're not open to learning new skills. But when we have a mind flex, we're open to learning new information. We're open to trying new habits. We're open to actually putting tweaks in our routine. And this is where the change truly starts to begin, right? It happens mentally before we ever see it out there physically. And last but not least, daily tracking. Okay, this is big, right? When we're able to track anything, now we're able to seriously grow. And I don't care if we're talking about trading. I don't care if we're talking about e-commerce. For those of you that have dove into your e-commerce store, what you're going to realize is when you break down your back office, when you look at your dashboard, you have what's called a tracking space. So our sales, they're going to be able to be tracked over a period of time. And when you go back and we look at what days the sales are really booming, what days they're not, guess what? We can go back and see what's working and what's not working and double down on what is and take off what isn't. Well, the same thing goes with life. What's working with our trading? What's working with our spirituality? What's working with our social media? What's working with our relationships? All of these different ways to be able to track them. Now we can go ahead and grow them in all of these different areas. And next thing is going to be personal accountability. Okay. This is why I believe the notebook is so important, because here's the deal. You can't lie to the notebook, right? Every single day that you come in here, when you really do it seriously, we have dates and we have times. So if you go back and we look at our notebook, whether it's our gratitude, our journal, our trading compound plan, if we go back and you look at the dates and you start to see a lot of gaps, you're going to see how it correlates inside of our life, why we might feel off, why we might feel that we're not on the same level of frequency that we're normally on, because we've been able to track it and see where the holes are. Okay. Goal setting. That's another big one. Every single day, being able to write out our goals, right? Along with our gratitude, along with our journaling, it's hard to get somewhere where we don't know that we're going, right? The biggest reason I talk about with, somebody that's a chairman or somebody that's a 6-7 figure trader, the two biggest differences, number one is their belief. They've had the belief they can actually go out and achieve that type of success, that type of impact. But number two is their their urgency, right? They have a huge difference when it comes to urgency, because they understand what somebody does in a year. What if we can compress that time frame into 3 months, right? What if we can compress what somebody does in 3 months into a month? Okay, this is one of the biggest difference when it comes to goal setting. And just like Neno talked about today, we have 3 types of goals, right? We have an A-type goal, we have B-type goals, and we have C-type goals. So obviously our C-type goal is our massive stretch goal, but our A and our B-type goals, these are more of our short-term goals to be able to really write down, visualize, and already feel as if they're already done, because the little goals end up leading up the ladder to the bigger one. So last but not least is going to be transparency, right? For daily tracking. There's no reason to lie to ourselves, right? If you ate bad today, if you ate some junk food, go ahead and write it down and document that. Because here's what I know. If we lie to ourselves, We're not doing anybody else any justice, right? We can lie to the world, but when we come home and sleep at night, this is where the real transparency lies. You know, if you didn't get on a Go Live session today, you know, if you didn't call your mentor, you know, if you didn't journal, you know, if you didn't do your gratitude, right? So at the end of the day, it only ends up mattering to who? The person that's in the mirror, because we are the only competition. We're in competition with nobody else but ourselves. And to truly do that, it comes with being transparency with our growth and really asking ourselves, am I really doing the deep inner work, or am I just showing up to get on a Zoom call to take the screenshot to just show that I'm there? Am I just writing my gratitude just to say that I did it? Okay, I've been the person to do all of these different things, and I can tell you, shortcuts never work, right? The magic really happens when you actually take the time to do the inner work and take this seriously for yourself. So that's my training for you guys today, family. If you got any value, go ahead and smash that 7, drop the like, drop some 7, smash the like button down below. But here's what I know. This month of August, I've seen the shift, I've seen the energy, I've seen you guys putting in the time, and here's what I've come to realize. The only difference with the compound effect is time. You might not see the direct results right now in your trading account, right, in your physical life, but I promise you things are working beneath the surface, and watch what happens, because people are going to ask you, you know, how did that happen all of a sudden? Nothing happens overnight, but it happens one night with you consistently putting in the time. So if nobody told you today, I'm proud of you. You're doing phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see the continued growth and the abundant success that is going to flow into your life. So family, it is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. I love you, family. I will see you tomorrow on another episode with Rise and Shine with Define. Let's go.